go. Okay. I'm trying to do research on cardiovascular disease, which is predominantly coronary heart disease, cardiovascular disease, coronary heart disease. Okay, I guess the reason why there's two terms is because cardiovascular disease includes heart attack and stroke, which I think is therefore not really categorized as coronary heart disease. But all of these things to do with cardiovascular disease are all, as far as I'm aware, all because of atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis. All of them. So what's that? That's simply build up of plaque in the arteries. So when a heart attack happens, that's when a bit of that plaque or skin around the plaque breaks, forms a blood clot, and that blood clot goes to the heart and causes a heart attack or a stroke. But as you can see, there's like about 20, 30, maybe more different, slightly different cardiovascular diseases. Like another one, for example, is where there's restricted blood flow to the brain. So that's classified as something else, and there's variations of that too. So, but they're all connected to the same thing, and that is the buildup of plaque in the arteries, atherosclerosis. So if you can solve that one problem, atherosclerosis, you solve all the problems. Now, atherosclerosis is, like I said, narrowing is another way of putting it. A narrowing of the arteries. Another way of putting it is clogged arteries. Another way of putting it is plaque buildup in the arteries. And these are, from what I can see from my research, is predominantly because of three things: inflammation, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. Three things. So I'm trying to research the nutritional approach to solve these three things. If I can solve these three things, inflammation, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol, I solve atherosclerosis. If I solve atherosclerosis, I solve all cardiovascular diseases. So we need to figure out what nutritional elements or foods or drinks or supplements prevent the buildup of plaque in the arteries. So we're going to attempt to solve that through many means. So let's look at, so we're going to solve it through understanding a bit about how high blood pressure, inflammation, and cholesterol work, and how they work together to cause atherosclerosis, and then figure out what to eat that prevents all those chemical and biological processes. So, in looking at food, what do we have as food? We have fruit and vegetables, or maybe we should say vegetables and fruit, because we need to eat more vegetables than fruit. We have nuts and seeds. We have drinks, which are just blended up fruits or vegetables anyway. Research so far being tomato juice and pomegranates. And we shouldn't juice things anyway, which removes the fiber, unless we're really trying to get a high concentrate of something like ginger, garlic, maybe turmeric, where you can't eat really a whole heap of ginger. Maybe you could eat some finely sliced ginger stir-fried in something, but you can only eat a little bit. But if you juice it, because it's so fibrous, but if you juice a whole big thing of ginger, you're going to get a whole ton of those nutrients out of it, and just gulp it down. Maybe mix it in with like an apple for flavor or something. So anyway, we're looking at fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, olive oil, and we can look at other types of oil like flaxseed oil, which is actually higher in heart-healthy omega-3s than olive oil. But olive oil has a bunch of other protective elements, and highly promoted as one of the best things for the heart. We're going to look a little bit at wine, because research suggests it can thin the blood. When we look at fruit, we're not going to forget to look at berries, which are high in antioxidants. We're going to look at carbs, which we might easily forget as falling into the fruit or veg category, like rice, particularly brown rice, wild rice, and basmati rice, quinoa, so we're talking about grains here. And obviously this is a vegetable, but sweet potato is still a vegetable but high in the carb category. And then another grain being the best cereal is oats. We're going to look at meats or animal sources of food, so particularly fish, chicken or poultry, and red meat, which should be eaten in that order from most to least. Then we're going to look at other drinks like green tea and coffee, and we need to look at probiotic elements, because there is some research beginning that suggests a link between gut microbiota and cardiovascular disease. So like I said, from what I can see, there's only we're on the tip of the iceberg with our understanding and studies and conclusions being derived from that, but it's definitely something worth a look at. And that might be it. So just a quick double check. Okay. Then we're going to look at all these things, all these food groups in relation to their various macro and micronutrients. So macro, we need to consider the three things of protein, carbs, and fats, and what proportion is best. So if we have 2,000 calories, what percentage of those in a day, what percentage of those calories do we allocate to protein, what percent to fat, what percent to carbs? And the consensus so far is carbs a little bit more, then fat, and then protein. And vitamins and minerals. So then we're going to look at the individual nutrients. So vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids, antioxidants. Now this is where we might need to throw in a few supplements. For example, why? Well, they say resveratrol is an awesome antioxidant, and it's found in red wine. And what frustrates me from people who don't do enough research is, yeah, it is in red wine, but I read somewhere once you'd have to drink like a few bottles of red wine just to get your daily dose. So like friggin' 4 complete bottles of red wine to get a dose of resveratrol high enough for it to have any really good health benefit. Now obviously if you were to do that, the negative effects of everything else that's in the alcohol is going to be far outweigh any health benefits you're going to get from the resveratrol. So that's why sometimes we need to extract things in a concentrated form and come up with resveratrol. So I think it actually comes from, if you're going to make it, yeah, which makes sense, is grape seed extract. So, you know, I think it's coming from the seeds in grapes, and it's meant to be highly beneficial for the heart. So, you know, you can drink a whole bunch of wine or eat truckloads of grapes, which again, you know, if you're eating so many grapes and the seeds inside the grapes, maybe you're overdoing it on the fruit, you know, just to get one thing good. So that's why sometimes by extracting the goodness of the grape seed, we can get that benefit without the potential negative benefit of having too much fructose from our fruit. Not just that, it's about some things we can't eat in abundance. Well, like I just said, like other root vegetables that are super high in certain benefits which are not part of our regular diet. So like I said before, like ginger. So anyway, that about wraps it up. So we're going to focus all this: fruit and vegetables, lean meats, grains, nuts and seeds, alcohol, and supplementation and foods focusing on that have a positive probiotic nature, all in relation to reducing inflammation, blood pressure, and cholesterol, to help prevent the onset of atherosclerosis, which is the buildup of plaque in the arteries. And in doing so, we can help prevent the vast array of cardiovascular diseases. Let's do it.